This is the Art Beauty Podcast where we tell the real truth about the fake shit. I'm Amber, and today my fabulous and gorgeous co-host is Alison Ragusa. She is the co-founder of Lab to Beauty. This is a brand that really pioneered bringing CBD into the luxury market, including one of my favorite hotels. Alison, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited.
I am so excited to have you here too. Now, we met on the New Beauty Live show, which I host, and your brand is awesome. I'm obsessed with this giant lip chapstick, which we figured because it is literally the bomb. Before we get into your brand, before we talk all things products, what's going on behind you here? It looks like you're in the jungle. Where are you?
So I'm at my Lab to Beauty base out here in Los Angeles, which is slash my home and living space. And I am, just like the whole core premise of Lab to Beauty, which is all about putting plants first and, just using the healing powers of plants. I felt it was really important for my living space to capture that too. So I have turned my my space into literally a home jungle. So
I am so jealous. So I love plants. My mother had a green thumb. I have a black thumb. I do. When plants come to my house, they kind of get I'm working on it though. I've got a couple that have weathered the storm, but I would love to have some of the big ones. The problem is that where we live, there's not a ton of light that comes in, which is kind of a bummer because, I think that the plants, when you walk home to like green and lush, it just feels relaxing and calm and clean and all of the good things.
yes. Well, in lieu of physical plants, you could slather on your Lab to Beauty all over, and you're going to be getting your plants, your lush plant experience that way. So
I love that. So are you an LA girl, born and bred?
I am not. I'm a New York girl. New York.
Yes. So you fled.
I fled. I did.
What do you think? Do you like it?
It's the weather. It's purely just the weather. And, I used to live in Italy. And so I feel like I'm back in Italy living in Los Angeles. Like the Mediterranean climate and just Mediterranean way feels like that out here in Los Angeles. Right. So that was probably the biggest draw for me in making the full move out to Los Angeles.
I wonder if people don't know this about you. So you were a chef in Italy, correct?
I was, yes.
Tell us, give us a little bit about that.
So I moved to Florence, Italy. So I'm Italian American. My family were Sicilian, but I moved to Florence, Italy to pursue my culinary career. And I was actually a pastry chef in Florence, Italy. I always say that my first career in beauty was as a pastry chef in Florence because it was just all about creating these beautiful things in one of the most beautiful artistic cities in the entire world. So it changed my life living and working there, and especially in the culinary scene in Florence and just in the entire Mediterranean. I fell in love with the respect and reverence that they have for quality ingredients. And, there's such a simplicity in the Mediterranean way that still always feels so luxurious and glamorous. And it's also one of the healthiest diets in the world. And just the way that it changed my life and just the way I looked and felt just living that way. And just, creating things with so much passion and with so much to do it so freshly too.
Florence was the last place in Europe actually that I got to go before pretty much the world shut down. So that was in late 2019, and I just fell in love. There's no way to not love Florence.
Right.
And the food, when you talk about it, I feel like pasta gets such a bad rep here in the States. But I think when I went there, I was consuming pasta, but I think it's just so fresh. The ingredients are so fresh. There's not a lot of processed food there. So I think everything kind of just works with the body as opposed to just sticking on the body, if you know what I'm saying.
100%.
Yeah.
And the restaurant that I was working in, we would go, so I was like the right-hand woman to the main chef. I was his pastry chef. So I would go in with him every day at like 10:30. And then like around like 1:30, the chef who was making the fresh pastas every day, he'd roll in. So it's like they were making everything, just even the pasta itself fresh, all the sauces fresh, everything. So exactly like you said, it's just that like, it's real ingredients, it's prepared freshly. And I also think too, I truly believe in food energy. I think the love and the passion that they're putting into it too, you consume that. So I think it just goes through your system so much better, and could be digest better.
So, I have an interesting fun fact that I know. So my aunt is the pastry chef for Daniel. I think now actually she might be at the Four Seasons in Miami.
Wow,
Yes,
that is
but she says
amazing.
she loves it because she gets to go in. You mentioned going in at 10. So, she's like, I don't have to deal. I think she goes in really early, but she doesn't have to deal with all the craziness of, the cooks and the chefs and all the kitchen madness because she gets to do her thing in the morning. How do you
Love that.
go from a career cooking in Italy, in Florence, no less, to coming back here and starting a skincare company?
Wow. So the journey kind of went like I was going to switch and start teaching culinary courses at a university in Florence. And so in between, um, before the fall semester was starting, where I was going to switch to teaching pastry courses, I had to come back to America to get a new visa. In the
Right.
meantime, they pushed the courses to spring semester. So I ended up staying in America longer. And I was so I had been in Boston before I moved to Italy because I was doing my master's in gastronomy at Boston University. So then I moved to Italy and I had given up my apartment in Boston. So I didn't want to stay in Buffalo, New York, where I'm from originally, because
Got it.
there wasn't a Whole Foods market there at the time. And I
Right.
needed to be by a Whole Foods. Because
Right.
as a
Fair.
chef,
Listen,
right?
I gotcha.
You got it? Okay, cool. So my sister was living in Pittsburgh, my older sister. So I moved to Pittsburgh literally because there was a Whole Foods. And I started my own business as a private chef and cooking teacher,
Okay.
where I would help my clients switch their diet to a more healthy diet through the Mediterranean diet. So I wanted to
Sure.
share everything that I had just learned in Italy in back in America when I moved back. And I was kind of just going to do this until I moved back to Italy, but I ended up loving it so much. I loved getting to make changes in my clients' lives through, freshly prepared food and just like creating like just something special in like an intimate way is versed. Even though I loved being in the kitchen, I loved being like in the homes. And I was at Whole Foods every day, like 3 times a day, doing the grocery shopping for my clients. And
Oh,
so I fell in love with that. And then through that, I got even more specific in creating dishes for my clients' skin and hair health. So using the healing powers of plant-based foods to help them eat and drink their way to better skin and hair. That then led me to my family. The core of my family business at the time was we're retailers in fashion and beauty, and we had a beauty boutique, have a beauty boutique and spa. And I was like, why don't we open up a little cafe right in the beauty boutique and off of the spa with everything to eat and drink your way to better skin and hair? So I moved home to develop that, which then led to me
and this
starting.
was in Buffalo.
This was in Buffalo, New York.
Okay. What's the name of the spa? You can shout it out.
So our store is called Tony Walker and Company,
Okay.
and actually skincare had up. My dad had opened up he'd always had his fashion concept, and he loves skincare so much. He had opened up a skincare boutique and spa, and the anchor of it was Kiehl's products.
Okay. Sure.
And it was, so I'm from a family of 6 girls.
Right.
And
Wow.
6 girls, 1 boy. And it was my dad who was always teaching us how to take care of our skin. And he would always actually say to us, you should never put on anything on your skin that you couldn't eat.
Fair.
So he was always about like keeping things super natural and super fresh. So that's why he liked this concept of this cafe to eat and drink your way to better skin and hair. This was, mind you, 11 years ago. So the whole holistic wellness, juicing cleanse, all of that time.
It wasn't really there. Yeah.
And at the time too, I was pursuing my degree in holistic health because I had gotten so into it. So I was into all these like weird holistic things, and I wanted to develop that in our store. So long story short, it led to me starting to run our whole beauty division. My sister joined me, and she's so much better at like operations. I was like better, like my forte was the creative side, and hers was like running things and really managing.
Business.
So we saw a void. I was the worst to work with because I only wanted to sell natural products. So we wanted to find an organic and natural line to bring in that we could merchandise alongside high-end products like Kiehl's and La Mer that we were selling. But as buyers, we couldn't find that at the time. I mean, this was like 10 years ago. So we saw that void in the market for a clean, organic, natural range of beauty products that was still luxurious and super effective.
Okay.
So we needed that. We couldn't find it. So my sister and I, Catherine and I, set out to create that. So we created our first brand together, Bogavia, Beauty of the Adriatic. And the concept was to create like an organic, natural version of Kiehl's. And that was picked up by Whole Foods Market right away. And that's now positioned.
I was going to ask you, did Whole Foods give you some love back? Because they were clearly good for them. I want to stop you really quick though. How do you go? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there listening who, think that they want to start something. How do you go from saying, okay, we're going to start this line? Like, where do you start? Do you start mixing things up in your kitchen? Do you start, you're a chef? What did you do?
Well, certainly there was that like kind of chef like quality to it because I would like kind of concoct my own things. And a lot of it as well was, so when I was doing my master's in gastronomy, one of the elective courses that we could take was Chinese medicine. And so I took that, and that changed my life. Probably one of the biggest things, because that was learning about how plants have these healing powers that I felt like, wow, as mere humans, we have magic at our fingertips through plants because the way they can transform things. So a lot of when Catherine and I set out to create a natural skincare brand was coming from just the research done on the healing powers of plants. So really like having this knowledge in almost like plant medicine was like at the core of like what we wanted to put into our products. And then too, so when I was a chef, I would help my clients switch their diets to a more healthy diet. I would always have them just go through the list of, tell me all the foods that you're eating that are, all your, like basically all the junk food, all the bad meals.
Yeah. Like really, let's get down to brass tacks. You're eating the cookies, you're doing the diet sodas, be honest, right?
Everything that you're eating, tell me, and I'll make a healthy version of it.
Sure.
And so it was the same thing then when we created all of our beauty brands. We're like, let's look at what the key, trends are, the popular items, and let's make a organic, clean version of that. That's always been like an inspiration too. So, and it's always been our forte. It was my forte when I was a chef. And then our forte with skincare is like, we get to, we like to look at what are the key trending things and important ingredients and this and that, and what's the healthy alternative. Right. And that's been like the benchmark when we create products.
So then you've created this first line. It gets picked up. It's being sold in Whole Foods. What made you decide to veer off, from beauty to the Adriatic to this sort of farm to table concept?
So it was my sister Catherine's passion. She got really, especially after she had her daughter Francesca, she got really into just becoming more conscious in what she was putting into her diet, into her daughter's diet, and just seeing like it had, when we started Bogavia, the landscape was so different. The whole, natural beauty industry hadn't quite boomed yet, but we saw like the efforts that, all of us who were in it and trying to make that change. I think it really changed Catherine's life too. I had always been into that. And then she got so into it, seeing like that, okay, we're really making, as an industry, making like really cool moves, like big
Yeah.
changes. And so with the farm to table movement, she started just loving that. It was certainly speaking my language. And we're seeing this rise in, okay, so as skincare creators, you're always on the outlook for what is the next key innovation going to be.
Sure. The next
That's gonna,
best thing. Uh-huh.
yeah. And so we were seeing this rising trends of CBD.
Sure.
Um, and in a way that no other ingredient really had ever before, because it was like making waves in so many different industries. You're starting to hear, like in the fashion industry, we were hearing some like things about CBD, and in the fitness world, and in, this and that, like, so across different genres, you're hearing about CBD. And then of course with in the health and with skin, like with anti-inflammatory properties, which everyone almost, it's at the root of every like
Illness
skin
is,
condition. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
inflammation is the issue. Yep.
right. So when you can find an active that's going to get to the core of something that's like almost like a universal concern to us, that's thrilling, because then you could get to help as many people as possible. So that's what Catherine had, this concept to combine this, utilize CBD in this realm of like this super fresh, like farm to table inspired, like clean skincare, and making it luxurious.
So
You
when
know,
was this about?
almost 3 years ago. And we wanted to, be first to market. And we were really lucky because Barney's New York saw something special in us. They picked us up immediately. And together with Barney's, we were the first to
Yeah.
bring, with Lab to Beauty, to bring CBD into the luxury realm.
And that's amazing.
Um,
I feel like you took such a risk on something too, because CBD, it is new, and it wasn't something that was sort of like everybody was like, is this legal? Is this not? Do you have THC in it? Do you not? I feel like there was a lot of sort of gray areas, whereas now it's a little bit more, we're seeing it in everything. But 3 years ago, you were really kind of ahead of the bandwagon.
that was all my sister. She worked so hard on all the legal side of it, and just, we worked, just it was a huge passion of hers, and she's just so precise and so, believed in it so much, and did all the background work. And so, and then we know that, like, making clean luxurious, like
Hmm.
making plant-based ingredients luxurious, we know is our like passion and forte. And so we felt just like really passionate about like putting CBD in that category, especially too because CBD has like this almost, because of its calming properties, it speaks so well to the spa aspects
Sure.
of beauty products. So we were like, okay, this is going to be something really special for like this spa like experience for consumers, which is just luxury. That's a luxury experience.
And now you're also in, speaking of luxury and speaking of spas, you're in some pretty luxurious spas. The Fontainebleau being one of them in Miami, which is one of my favorite hotels.
Love that you love the Fontainebleau.
It's
It's
epic.
right.
Yeah.
It's a gem. It's such a well run like spa and well run experience.
Yeah. I feel
That
like whenever you're there, it's kind of like taking almost like a little bit of step back into time, to this very glamorous, chic era, sitting poolside and where everybody's just, life is always good at the Fontainebleau.
yes, for sure.
So you
Um,
get in there and you're in some other big spas too, right?
so we're with the partners with the Four Season in their Santa Barbara location, and we're also opening up in their Scottsdale Four
And
Seasons.
so do they only use your products there? Like in
They
their
have numerous
treatments?
products. So
Okay.
Fontainebleau in the treatments, and then we're in the sold at the Four Seasons Santa Barbara, and now at the
Amazing.
Four Seasons Scottsdale. Yeah, so it's especially with the Fontainebleau, just that whole their lapis spa is so, it just transports you immediately. So we love that Lab to Beauty is on that journey for the
So do they
clientele.
hook you up every time you're down at the Fontainebleau? Do you get to
They
go in and
they are they're well, and they do it to everyone. It's an experience.
yeah.
It's not just So I think they treat us just as
You're
well
like,
as they
that's a
treat
yes.
their.
It's okay. It's okay. There's got to be some benefits to owning this line. So let's actually talk about the line now too. I have here, it's the moisturizing lip balm. I love this. I don't know if people can see this, but it's massive. So, and now I have one of these here that I just leave on my desk. I mean, I don't know how I'm ever going to use all of this. I've got one in like every pocket, but what made you decide we're going to do something that is like 2 to 3 times the size of a normal chapstick?
So that's definitely become our like iconic product. And I've got to give props to my dad. That was his idea
Oh,
to,
he was like, size matters. Leave it to a guy
he
to
was like,
know.
just like, so everyone's losing their chapstick. And it's just like, how cool would like a really big chapstick be?
So
And
true.
so we did it. And like, but Lab CBD too, the really cool thing about it is it's a collection, it's a universal collection. So it's for both women and men. And we love to get feedback from our male clientele because we want it to be something that they're, comfortable with too. And
I
so
mean, I will say that the packaging is so chic.
thank you.
And the scent is it's like a clean spa scent. So it's very unisex. I don't feel like it's perfumey. This could definitely be men or women. Is there fragrance in the products or just some natural oils or?
So it's all essential oil
Okay.
based, plant-based fragrance when we're using the aromatic experience. So our signature aromatic experience is the rosemary mint
Hmm.
that you are getting all throughout the body care and hair care. And then we do have a lavender experience in the face care. So in our like hero product, which is the green cure mask, you have that beautiful lavender experience. And then the rosemary is in almost every single face care product as well, because rosemary has such incredible antibacterial properties. It's part
Mm.
of the like almost like the preservative system throughout all the products too, because it keeps the products so clean and so fresh.
And
Rosemary
so
is one of my favorite plant ingredients in like
in
just
anything, so I guess you cook with it a
yes.
lot.
Oh,
Rosemary and chicken is
yes.
like everything,
How
everything.
the
Delish. If you grill
yes.
it with a steak, can you tell? I feel like it's almost dinner time. So this conversation could start to take a different kind of turn. So your hero product though, you'd say is the green face mask?
Oh gosh, tied with green cure mask with the recovery oil.
Okay.
So, like the recovery oil was named by WWD as one of the best facial oils of 2020. So
Amazing.
that tied with the green cure mask, and then certainly the moisturizing lip balm, just like is
Mm.
like just no matter who sees it, grabs it, picks it up, it's like the wow. Like I think just too because of that size.
Yeah, of course. Well, because it really makes it stand apart and everybody's like, I want that. Um,
Yes.
so what is it do you think about the green cure mask? Let's talk about this. What is the experience when you're using it?
It's the velvety, smooth consistency of the mask that differentiates it from any other clay mask because typically a clay mask is going to be chalky. And the green cure mask, I think everyone is just so wowed by the like velvety, creamy, silky smooth, not chalky experience. And then that lavender aromatic that just like it just activates your senses. And lavender is really cool too because it almost adapts to what your like needs are. If you need calming and soothing, lavender is just gonna deliver
Help
that.
you go there.
But if you also need that kind of like energy and stimulation, lavender can also give you that too because it's so purifying. So it's really dynamic and it almost delivers what you are asking for. So it's
Hmm.
really neat. So I think that's what makes it nice too, because whether you're going to use the mask in the morning to get your day going and give you that energy, or if you want it to wind down, it's going to deliver that. And then it's also been kind of nicknamed like the experience with it is like the mask for more me time. That's what
Sure.
one of the press that we got from Well and Good, they described it as the mask for more me time, which especially through the pandemic, that's what
We all need the me time. I love it.
Yeah.
It's self-care is not selfish. It's a line that somebody told me once and I have never forgotten it. I do think that the line too, it's nice because there's not a ton of SKUs, right? So it's like you've got a fairly pared down line. What do you think is next for you?
NAD. So what Catherine and I are developing right now is our collection, our Lab to Beauty collection with NAD, which is the like new fountain of youth for your skin.
Oh,
So
wait a minute. NAD, is this I haven't heard of it. You are breaking news right here. What is it?
Yeah. So NAD, some call it, will like say
NAD.
NAD or NAD plus, and it is a cofactor. We naturally produce NAD in the system. It's like a cofactor that like activates your skin at a cellular mitochondrial level to energize and bring new life, right, and awaken the skin cells. And you're seeing it a lot right now in like IV treatments for it's being like coined the fountain of youth. You're especially out here in LA. And now we want to bring that.
LA has everything. You know
right?
what? Probably anybody who's listening right now here who is in LA is like, wait a minute, what? We've had this out here forever. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And now, so we want to bring it topically to, I think, what we believe everyone is needing right now after this, everything we've all been through this past year is we need that new life. We need that new energy. We need to be activated, fresh. And we see that with NAD. So we are pairing it in this whole, with different AHAs to just like literally just give new skin, like new life.
Skin, yes. Give you, I love it. And you know what? I feel like your line is a really great thing for people who are looking, like you said, for the me time. If you want the spa, which we can't go to right now, things are still not really open. It's a great way to bring the line home to your own bathroom. And it's affordable. I will put this in the affordable luxury. Obviously it was sold at Barney's, so we know it's not, mass market by any, but it's not unobtainable either. I feel like it's very, very like an affordable luxury. So thank you for that.
Oh, of course, of course.
So if people want to know more about this, if they want to try your products, where can they go?
Yes. So you can go to Saks Fifth Avenue. Go to saksfifthavenue.com. You could go, in stores, especially at their flagship location. We're available there at their Beverly Hills and Brickell locations. You could shop Lab to Beauty on Revolve. And actually your favorite, that moisturizing lip balm has been a bestseller, continues to be on Revolve. You can experience it down at the Fontainebleau Miami Beach. You can shop it at the Four Seasons Santa Barbara, soon to be Scottsdale. We're also available on olivella.com. And if you're overseas, if you're in Europe, you can experience and shop Lab to Beauty at the Douglas in Germany. And now we're entering the Douglases throughout Europe as well.
And also labtobeauty.com, right?
And labtobeauty.com, of course.
Right? Let's not sell ourselves short, which is nice because you can go there, you can look up ingredients, you can really get some nice reviews. Thank you so much for being on. It's like so great to have you on. If you guys need a recommendation for me, this moisturizing lip balm, it's listed as the best lip balm ever, and I will definitely give it kudos. And I'm hard on lip balms because I bite my lips a lot.
It means the world that we have your stamp of approval on our lip balm. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And if you guys at home have any questions you want me to ask Alison, of course, I'm always happy to pass them on. You can email me at hello@artbeautypodcast.com. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Art Beauty Podcast. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.